Hello folks, in this video we're going to talk about stairs in Revit, and as you already know it is one of the most powerful tools in Revit, using which we can design all sorts, literally all sorts of stairs.
In this part, I'm going to explain the classification of the stairs. I unofficially classify the stairs into three groups. The first one is called a normal multiple run stair. And how did we draw them? That's right, by run. This is one example that I'm drawing now. These are other examples. This is the first group. The second group is called formed multiple run stair. And how did we draw these? At first we used run and then we edited it. For example, this one, after that we clicked on edit, then we selected it and then convert and edit the sketch. Finally, the changes that we want. This was the second group of the stairs, and we could draw different kinds of stairs in this way. But the third group that we're going to talk about now is called designed stairs or special stairs, and also round stairs. Now, what are their features? For example, this one or this one or this one. What do you think their features are? Well, you might say that we can draw these and then edit them. For example, this. Now, answer this question. If I want to draw this by run and then edit, alright, for example, this is it, and now I want to edit it to become like that. Now, what things should I edit? That's right, everything. Actually, I need to edit both boundaries and the rises. So, what will be left with? And how did this run help me? So, when the stairs become really special, we need to draw the parts of the stairs ourselves from the first place. Now, why do you think the stair path is in parentheses? Exactly, because I said the stair path is designed automatically. And only the times that it cannot be designed, we need to do it manually. So, in this part, we want to work on these three examples. Now, these stairs have start from 0 until 90 centimeters. 5 risers, and in this one, 6 risers. They have different forms for entering, and they're also used a lot in the sites. In this part, we're going to learn how to draw these special stairs, and I will also teach you how our stair can reach a height that there's no level for that height. But what does it mean? It means that, for example, this stair is now in 90 centimeter height, and in this height, there's no level. You already learned to determine the height of the stairs based on levels. For example, from level 1 to level 2. But here, for the top of these stairs, there is no level. And we will find out how we can do this. Well, let's go and draw the first kind. Let me design a floor. It's better to have the floor, so that we can see better that 90 centimeters going up. One floor here. Then I pick another floor. Now we don't have any level for the 90 centimeter height. In any reason, we don't care about the reason. Therefore, its floor must be based on the height offset, which is 90 centimeters. And finish. Now, let's go for the stairs. Select the stair first. And also remember that any kind of stair that you want to draw, you need to manage the height and the number of it. So, let's talk about the height first. We say that this stair, for example, is going from level 1 to anywhere. Well, we don't have any level for the 90 centimeters height. And when does this happen? For example, the dock stairs. It has gone up 1 meter, for example, and it's not logical for it to have levels. Or, for example, we have a platform with, I don't know, 3 or 4 stairs. Now it should not have levels. But what should we do? What is the technique? Well, I tell you that. So here we say from level 1 to level 1 that has the top offset, which is 90 centimeters. Did you get it? From level 1 to level 1 that has the top offset, which is 90 centimeters. There's also another technique, and that's to change this to none. But I don't recommend that. You can also change it to none and change this height, but I don't recommend this either. It's risky. It's better to be in the same level with the top offset. Alright, now the height is okay. It's time for the desired number. For example, 6, and it calculates, and the actual riser height becomes 50 centimeters. Now, tell me one thing. What things you think we don't need to have here? That's right, the actual tread depth and the run width. Because we are not about to draw a usual stair, and we are going to use the sketch mode. When your stair is really special, you cannot use these default and common forms anymore. And what you need to do is to use this pencil here, which is called Create Sketch. So don't forget, at first manage the height, then enter the right number. Then if you want to use the sketch, the actual tread depth and the run width will not matter. So now I click on this pencil. We are already familiar with the parts of stair: boundary, riser, stair path. We have already talked about the points, so now let's design. Let's do the first example. So I pick boundary, 2 open lines separated from each other. So I pick an arc, and also watch the dimensions, don't suddenly draw 20 meters. Well, there are 6 risers. If one of them is half meters, they are 3 meters. So for example, I draw 1.80 meters here and 1.5 meters here. You see, I want it to be logical a bit. And this one here. 2 boundaries that are 2 open lines separated from each other. Now, let's go for the risers. And down there it says we should draw 6 more. So I pick the riser, and I want the first one to be an arc. The second one. The third one would be this way. I already told you, when your riser is like this, I mean it's made of a few lines, it's counted as 1 riser. We don't have 3 risers now. I draw another one here. Now something is wrong. What is wrong? Exactly, it's the boundary line. Actually, this happens a lot. It just jumps to the boundary, and be careful, you can find out through the color. 2 remaining. I draw one here, and another one in this way. Like this. Now it's a bit weird. I want you to get used to it. Well, finish. Let's go to 3D. Now, what happened? It's upside down. So, learn this right here, that how we can make a stair upside down. Or let's just say flip it. Well, in order to do this, you just need to click on the flip icon here. And if I want to tell you why it got upside down, it's because of the direction of the boundaries. But you really don't need to know why. All you need to do is to click on flip when it gets upside down. That's it. finish, or set. In order to find out if a stair is correct or not, select it first and then check the height, check the desired number, and also check the actual number of risers. That these two must be the same, and they are. Let me explain something about flip. Well, if you have a 2-ramp stair, for example, like this, and then click on finish, I want you to see how flip works on this and how we need to flip it. First of all, when you select the stair, the flip does not appear until you click on edit. So click on edit, then the flip appears. In the stairs like this is what flip does. You see, it actually changes the direction to go up. Did you get it? Alright, now let's go for this one. Here we need to edit its flow, because just like you can see, the stair is special, so the floor must be an arc in this part. So I'll need to edit my flow. I save my file, alright, stair, and that's it, it's saved. I select the floor and then click on edit boundary. Now, in order to make this boundary of the floor like that arc, would you agree to use the pick lines? Exactly, why not? I select pick lines and then click on the edge of the riser. Let me also tell you that in the previous versions of Revit, I mean 2018 and 17, 95% of the times this would cause a problem. I mean, it was just a bug that Revit had, and until now I haven't seen it in 2019 version. Therefore, I highly recommend that before you edit your floor by pick lines, by considering the stair, please save the file before that, because the Revit software might close, especially in 2018 and 17. So now I split and finish. Can you say what I'm going to do to this now to make it kind of organized? Exactly. I want to inactivate the end with riser. When I inactivate end with riser, I can add one more riser. So I select it and then click on edit and then select it. Then I inactivate the end with riser. Now what's happened? That's right, we need one more riser, so I add one. I click on edit, riser, and it's not actually different where to add it, I add it here. Just like this, and finish. You see that? Now it's a very good and logical staircase. Now, let me tell you a point. When you have white threads, especially in the sketch stairs, just like this, actually I've explained it before, it's kind of a review. You see, just like this. Now, what does this white thread look like right now? Exactly, it looks like landing is performing as a landing. So, now I want to tell you that when we have white threads, that they become like landing, the railings must change. You know, the railings don't seem to fit that thread in the right way. Therefore, we go back to the point we talked about before. The times that you create white threads, you need to do what? Do you remember? That's right, you need to split it in two spots, the first riser and the last riser. But what do we split? Boundary. One split and one split. And I also said if you split it before or after that, it's okay, it's just the form of it that will change. You see how it becomes? Alright, now something happened here. Here is still wrong. So I undo and change the place of the split. So let me undo. Yeah, that's it. Now this time I split here, not here, but here. And this one also from before it, from out of it, the exterior part to exterior part. And also this boundary, exterior to exterior. Now finish. You see that? Now it's until the end, right? Next kind. So one kind was to split that very spot. The other kind was to split the exterior parts. Now let's try the interior part. And finish. You see, every one of them was different. So you can have different models and forms by splitting different places. And this part that is broken here, or this part that is open, we can't help it. We can't do much about it because the form of the stair is too complicated. But sometimes we can do something by splitting more. This split actually helps you a lot, and it can control the form of the structure and the railings a lot. For example, here I can have this one and also the one behind it. You see now, this is a kind too, but it's all up to you. Now that you have seen everything and you have learned, it's time to draw all 3 examples. We agreed not to continue the video. At first, draw all 3 examples and then you can watch the way I draw too. Alright, now we are in the software and we want to analyze all of this in Revit. Well, to activate the stair, first of all we go to architecture headline and then circulation, and then we can see the stair. In the old versions we had an arrow by the stair that when you opened it, it had 2 types. One of them was sketch, that fortunately it has been deleted because it was never useful. So I click on stair. Now, as usual, we first manage the setting of the type properties. So I click on edit type and then duplicate. For example, the exterior stairs. And then we have the 3 parameters that we talked about. The maximum riser height. Now in these stairs, the height of each riser is 18, but we want to consider it 20 so that we can have more space. Maybe we want to draw an MEP stair that we need it to be 20, you know, we need it to be more than 18, but we know that the standard is 80, but I consider it 20. Then we have the minimum tread depth. Alright, the tread depth that we want to draw is now 30 centimeters, but we want it to be 27, alright? You know, it's not that important actually. Then we have minimum run width. And in the example, it was 1.20. Now I want it to be 90, alright? And remember that it's minimum, alright? So we manage 3 dimensions here, the riser height, tread depth, and the run width. And all of them were minimum. Now, the settings in properties. First of all, I said we should determine the height of the stairs, and it should be from level to level. From level 1 to level 2, and here it tells you about your desired stair height, which is 4 meters. Remember something, that during the drawing the stair, you cannot change the height of the level. For example, if it is going to be 3.60, you can't change it anymore. So what should I do? I should click on finish here, and then it tells me you haven't drawn anything. Why would you want to finish? So I have to cancel it and then exit. And after that, edit my level height. And then I go back to the stairs. So remember that. Well, we can draw it and then change the height, but it's not recommended, right? So always remember to check the level height and then go for the stairs. I go back, architecture, stairs, edit type, duplicate. Then it says that we already have this. Well, we made it before. 200 for the riser height, 270 for the tread depth, and 90 for the run width. And here it's from level 1 to level 2, the desired stair height is 3.60. And now we go for the desired number. Now this desired number is going to be 20, isn't it? Now a question. Can I consider this desired number 200? Now you need to answer based on the previous standards. I told you some rules about minimum and maximum, if you remember. So, can it be 200? What is your answer? I'm sure you feel that 200 is a very strange number for this, don't you? And you might think that we face an error now, but we don't. Why? Because when it is 200, the actual riser height will be 18 millimeters or 1.8 centimeters. And did we have a minimum for riser height? No, we just had a maximum. So we will not face any error. But you might think that so what? What is the use of it? Well, I tell you, it's so useful. And do you think what is the function? Well, I should tell you that we can use it for ramp. You see it? It's so useful, we can use it for ramp. You know, these ramps that are for cars, and that's it. Now, one more question. Can we change this desired number to 10? If it is 10, the actual riser height will be 36, right? And it will be more than that maximum number that was 20, if you remember. So when I move my mouse out, I will face a warning. Now, one more thing. I want you to know this, that what we are seeing now is a warning, not an error. Here, it warns us, it tells us something. Now, what is it saying? It's telling us that the actual riser height, right? The actual riser height, the riser height that we are drawing now, is greater than the maximum riser height, right? The maximum was the standard. The actual riser height is the riser height we are drawing now. Alright, the actual riser height, that the desired number is 10, is more than the maximum number that we determined. And then it tells us that we need to change this in order to want this situation. So maybe I say, okay, I get it, but I want to keep doing what I want to do. So it doesn't stop you, but it warns you that you're being against the standards you defined yourself. Anyway, the desired number is 20. Here we have the actual tread depth. The actual tread depth, which is related to this stair, it's not a standard. We say that the actual tread depth of this stair is going to be 30 centimeters. Pay attention to one thing. When you have finished these managements and you want to start drawing, you need to click on this run here. And it's usually already activated, but if it's not, you click on it and you see some properties here too. So if you see they're not here, it means that you haven't activated the run. So when I click on it, I can have access to the actual run width too. The actual run width would be 1.20. Now everything has been done. The height I said was level 1 to level 2. The desired number, the actual tread depth, and here we have the actual run width. Now let's start drawing. To draw the stair, first of all, you need to choose a spot to start it. So, let me zoom in a little so that you can see the words better. So I go to Option, Graphics, and I change the size of the words. And you don't need to do this, actually I did it so that you can see it better. Alright. Now, check this out. When you click and you start drawing, as you can see down there, it shows you how many risers have been created. As you can see, it says until right now, 9 risers have been created and 11 risers have remained. Now I want to have 210, so I go up a little more, and now that's right. And now I continue this to right a little, and then I click, and that's it. I go down now. Now here, I don't need to count anymore, because it doesn't get more than it is, you know. And then I click. Let me undo and do it again. So we were supposed to click on run if we didn't have these properties here. The run width was determined, so let's start drawing. First I choose a spot to start. Then you should drag it up. Now we have 20 stairs, we want 210, alright? So I drag it until here and then click. Then I continue that to the right, again one more click, and then drag it down. I've seen some people after they click they start drawing from here, but it's wrong. You see, that's the right way. Alright. Then I should click on finish and it shows me the rails too. And don't pay attention to the warning about the rails. We will definitely talk about the rails, but the warning is not important at all. It actually says the rail is not continuous, which is not important. Anytime you see this warning, just close it. So let's go to the 3D and take a look at it there. You see, this is it. Now let's go and analyze it more carefully and analyze the details. So let me undo. Alright, the first ramp was drawn, but for the second ramp we need to manage some things. So let's go to the properties. But before that, before drawing the second ramp, let's learn some things here too. We talked about the height, but here, it's really important, try to understand it. What do we have here? The desired number of risers. Alright, the number of the risers that I want. It says that I have considered 20 stairs. Now, when it is 20, it has calculated the actual riser height based on the desired stair height. Alright, the actual riser height or the riser height of each stair, just like you can see in the picture. So the desired number of risers is the number of risers that I want. Now you tell me this one. What does it mean by actual number of risers? That's right, it's clear from the number. Now we have 10 more left, and until we don't draw the desired number of the riser, the height of these stairs will not reach the desired height. So let's go and draw the next 10. So while you're drawing these stairs, pay attention. While you're drawing the stairs, where do you think the axis is? Hey, where do you think? That's right, it's exactly in the middle. This is exactly like the wall. But what was it called there? What would we call the axis of the wall? Exactly, we called it the location line. And we have it here too, if you see. Now, this location line has 3 common forms. Left, right, center, and forget about those two. They're not going to be useful. Now, a question. Which one would be better to use? The right, center, or the left? Well, it has two forms. Either you place it in the space between two rows of the stairs, or you place it by the object that you are drawing the stair based on. For example, you're drawing based on a wall. But do we have a wall here? No. So our location line must be based on that space I told you about. So I delete this, and this time I draw it more carefully and with the location line. I click on run, and because that space is on the right, I click on right. And now I draw. And I keep drawing until I see 10 and I leave it. Now, pay attention. I want to draw the next ramp and I don't want to have that space anymore. I wanted it to be 0. And you already know that based on some new rules and the standards of the firefighting, we shouldn't have these anymore. And it's actually because this space leads the smoke during a fire or something to the top. So we shouldn't have this space. But we practice both. So if I don't want to have this space, where should I click and drag down? As you can see, we have a gap in here. And remember that this gap is a structure by the stair. And we don't always have this. And when you're starting to draw the next ramp, you should not start it from this part, because when it gets deleted, you will have extra space. This is your stair and you need to draw from here. I click on it and drag it down, and it's over. And now there's no space, alright? Now, what should we do if we want to have that space? For example, I want it to be 20 centimeters. When you click on this run here, you see offset. But what does it do? For example, I enter 30 centimeters. Pay attention what it does. Now, when you want to start drawing the next ramp, it places 30 centimeters next to it. Alright, 30 centimeters next to the first ramp. So it can be a very good technique. For example, I change it to 20 and then I start drawing from here, but not here. And in the end, that space is created. So the technique of drawing the space between two rows of stairs is that after clicking on run, we enter a number for offset as much as we need, and then we click on the width of the stairs, not the structure, the width, and drag it until down. And now it's ready. You can click on finish. And this warning, I said ignore it. Now, next subject. In these stairs, actually the ramp, which is going up, places with one riser ahead. And this is a rule. And if you know the reason, well, it's so good. It's even better. But if you don't, just learn this, just know it. Know this rule. In the first session, we said that when you select an object and then click on move, if you don't activate this join, it stretches. Alright? Do you remember? Now, if you want to move without activating this join, like this, it will have one riser ahead. And even that space for landing will be edited automatically. So, what happened? The ramp, which is going up, is selected first. Then I click on move and I don't activate the disjoin. And then I click. Now, what do you think will happen if you forget to inactivate this join? Actually, this will happen. As you can see, and your stairs won't be right anymore. So, I said that one of the forms of the location line is that it's on the side of that gap between two rows of the stairs. I also introduced another form that I said it's aligned with an object that we are drawing based on. So, if you agree, let's draw a wall first. A wall with any dimensions. Now, inside this, I want to draw stairs. And you will learn both location line and also aligning. So, I select the stairs, level 1 to level 2, the number of the risers 20, the tread depth 30 centimeters, the width is 1.20 and I don't want the offset for now. Now, the ramp of our stair is about to be aligned with the left side of this wall, so the location line must be left, that's right. So I pick it up and drag it until it shows 10. And it's over. Now, this side, I click from the beginning of this and I drag it until here. See? Just like that. And now I want to set that rule I told you about, one riser ahead. Now, why did this happen? That's right, the disjoint must not be activated. Now, if you pay attention, you see this structure of the stairs is aligned with that wall. Let me make it wireframe. You can select the entire stairs and move it. You can, for example, bring this from here to here. So you can move the stairs. Move it to anywhere you want. And I will tell you more examples about the location line so that you can understand it better. Now, if you agree, let's go and see the different types of the stairs. This one was a standard type of stairs with two ramps. And I said you need to create a gap between two rows of the stairs and also one riser ahead. Now, 3 ramp stairs. I select the stair, level 1 to level 2. The number of the risers 21. Tread depth 30 centimeters, the width 1.20. I don't have any walls, so it must be right. 7 risers, so I click and drag it to the top. Now this is one of the 7, and then from this part, not that part, I draw the next 7. Alright, now that rule that I said one of the risers must be ahead, each ramp that goes up must have one riser ahead. So I select move, and then I make sure that this joint is not activated, and that's it. Now some people select this and move this one. Well, it's definitely wrong. So what should we do? We need to select both ramps and then move. Alright? Did you get it? So in the second ramp, we must select both first and the second ramp together and then click on move. Now, if you agree with me, let's draw a 3 ramp stair based on a wall. For example, we have a wall like this. I arrange all of these. Now I select run, and again my location line must be left because it's going to be aligned with this wall. So I click on left and drag it or draw it from here. How many? 7. You might also wonder how I know where to start from. Well, I will tell you all of these later, don't worry about it now. You can start from wherever you want. It can be edited very easily. So I click here and draw 7 more. And even from here, 7 more. Now let me show you how easy it is to edit. I select this and then click on move, and the disjoint is not activated. So you move it from here to here. Then I select this one and move it from here to here. You see that? Now this one I click on move and I move it here. Now you might think it would be better if it were in the middle. Well, that would be a good idea. So I move this one in the middle anywhere I want. Actually now it's not in the middle. I move it again and you can see now it shows the midpoint. I place it. You can move it anywhere you want, and just like that you can draw 3 ramp stairs based on a wall. Now let's go and see other types. The 3 ramp stairs that the 3rd ramp is on the 1st ramp. Again, it must be 21, and because there's no wall, well, the rod must be right. So 7, this time I want to make that space or that gap, so I write 20 in offset, 20 centimeters. Now the 3rd ramp is going to be on the 1st ramp, and I don't need the offset anymore either. So I click on here and drag it again on this one. Let's see the 3D. You see? That's it, the 3 ramp stairs that are on each other. Now a question. Does Revit inform us about the heads of the threads if they're wrong or right? No, Revit has nothing to do with the thread heads, and we need to be careful ourselves. Another example is, for example, the stairs with 4 ramps. So I click on stairs and the number of the risers this time would be 24. The thread depth would be 13 and the width would be the same, 1.20. And the run would be the same, right? And the offset would be 20. So 2.6 here. Now I don't need the offset anymore. Actually, if you click on a space, these numbers will be removed, will be gone. I drew the 3rd ramp on it, and now the 4th ramp is drawn on the last ramp. Now the 3D, you see, a 4 ramp stairs that are on each other. Alright, then I click on finish and that's it. After that the railings are drawn too, and that's it. We can also have, for example, stranger stairs, they're weird. For example, 3 here and another 3 here, and suddenly it passes from on it. It's possible to do this, it's okay. The last example I'm going to tell you is the irregular stairs. But what does it mean? For example, I select the stairs and then I increase the number of the risers, and the thread depth would be 30 centimeters and the same width. Now, for example, I draw 4 here, and after that another one to the right, just like this. But suddenly I want to go to left. Now my location line is on right, so I click from here to draw, but I see it's not possible. Why? Because the location line is wrong. So we come to a conclusion here. While drawing the stairs, we might need to change the location line in the middle of the design. Maybe left and then continue. So be careful about it. Now you see some numbers. If you click on space, they will be gone. There's also something else, and that's some people start drawing the ramp from some weird place. You see? Just like this. And actually will not have a good landing either. You see, what is this landing? And why would you want to start the next ramp from here anyway? You need to follow a rule. For example, continue from the rest of this. And then change the location line. So remember to consider a rule. Why would the next ramp start from here? You know? Either it starts from here and goes this way or that way. With a different location line. You know? No, not from here. It wasn't good. Actually, maybe from here with the right location line, we can draw it like this. So, be careful when you want to start your new ramp. Well, now let's go and analyze the different parts of the stairs. When you want to edit a stair, after drawing it, you need to be familiar with different parts of it. So, in the first level, we want to limit our edit only to dimensions. For example, increase and decrease the number of the rises, or I don't know, change the width and things like this. And in other levels, we will change the geometry too. For example, make our platform round. So, in the first level, we are going to analyze the different parts of the stair so that we can understand how we can make the basic changes, because the more we get familiar with these parts, the better we can edit. So let me draw a stair and explain all of these to you based on that. Run is right. The number of the risers 22. A warning. It's okay. Now I draw 211. One of them must have one riser ahead. That's it. And that's it. Now, if you agree with me, let's just delete the railings. We don't need them now. So now I'm going to edit this. So in order to edit this and have access to the parts of the stair, first of all, you need to select it. We never open a box to select the stair, because if we do that, it doesn't show us the edit, and in the filter it shows many things, many different things. So never open a box. You cannot even select a part of a stair by clicking on it. See, when I click on this, still no edit. The only acceptable select is that when you move your mouse on the stairs, the whole and entire stair is highlighted like this. And then if you click, you can see the edit. So to make sure you can select your stairs quickly and easily, my advice is to click on it before this arrow sign. Or you can open a box and then go to filters, and in filter, select only the stairs. This is possible too, but why would we do that? That one is so much better. Now, here it showed the edit, and I already said that anytime, anywhere we have edit, it's equal to double click. So you need to double click before this arrow here, and then your edit stairs will appear. Now, the parts of the stairs. The stair includes two main parts, that one of them is run. Or just like I said before, ramp, these two are the same. For example, I say this stair has two ramps. Here it says it has two runs, all the same. So let's just say that these stairs have two runs. So one of them was run, and the second one is landing. The platform will land on. There's also a number 3, which is called support, and it's this part here. But we don't know this part as a part of the stairs, because many of the stairs don't have this. But there's no stair that doesn't have the run or the landing, unless there is a single run stairs. Anyway, we don't consider this as a part of the stairs, and it doesn't have a special edit either. Now, let's talk about the run and the landing, and if you agree, let's go to plan and check it together. When you select run and landing, you see some arrows here. Now, these arrows help you change the dimensions. For example, I select this, and by moving this arrow, I change the dimension of this one. You can also type the number here. Now a question. When I enter, for example, 3000 here, why is the left side changing, not the right side? Well, it's so clear because the location line is on right. So the side that is the location line remains constant. And this number will change the dimension of the other side. So we can change the dimensions by using these arrows. We can also change the dimensions of the landing like this. We can change it to any side. Alright. We can also do something else. For example, we can rotate the stair. At first I need to select the rotate, and then I say based on here, I rotate this. Now, since they're all connected to each other, when I change this, the landing also changed automatically. Alright? But why? Because our stair is now automatic. Now, is there a manual option too? Yes, there is, but we will talk about it later. Now, this is automatic, and that's why the landing will match itself with the run automatically. So, we analyzed the different parts of the stair, which I said were the run and landing. Now, in order to be able to edit more and also make a geometric change in our design, we need to be familiar with parts of run. Alright, because the run itself has some parts and we want to know them now. Alright, now, the different parts of run. It includes 3 lines. The first line is called boundary, and I want you to leave these icons alone for now. I will tell you about them later. Only understand the subject. Now, these green lines are called boundary. Then we have riser, which is these black lines. And then we have the stair path, which is the blue line in the middle. Each of these, my friends, have 2 points to say. Now, if you have a book, you can find it there. Or if you don't, it's okay, I tell you right now. You can take a note and keep it for yourself. Boundary has 2 points. The first point. Boundary is always 2 lines that are open and separated from each other. It's never 3 or even 1, always 2. And these 2 will never reach each other either. Alright? Somehow we can say that boundary is where the railings will be placed. But somehow not definitely. The second point. It is not correct to pass on the boundary line. I mean, you never enter the stairs from here, you always come from here, right? And even you never hit the boundary lines, you just go through them. And it actually makes sense because there are railings and, well, you walk between the railings. We will need these points later, so be careful with them, alright? Now, 2 points for risers or the black lines. The first point. The 2 heads of these lines must be connected to the boundaries or even reach them. Even if we continue it, it can reach the boundaries. It's okay not to be connected, but if we can continue it, it will reach the boundaries. Now, the second point, these lines must not cross each other at all. You see, just like the picture, they have to be on their own place, just like you can see, they shouldn't change and cross each other. Now, 2 points for the stair path. The first point. The stair path must be connected to the first and the last riser, and also must cross all the rises. I'll repeat it, it must be connected to the first and the last risers, and must cross all the risers. Alright, just like you can see, but I will explain it to you more later. Number 2. The stair path is designed automatically. You don't need to do anything. But in case it is not drawn correctly, we need to design manually. Alright, we need to design it ourselves. Well, now we know everything about the parts of the run. About landing, let me tell you that it has parts. Well, let's just say part, it has only a boundary. Alright, just a boundary. You see, it's this green line, the boundary. But the points about this boundary is not related to the boundary of the run at all. But if I want to tell you a point, the boundary here is always a closed shape. And it cannot be two, always one. Alright, now let's go and see the design of all these. We have stairs here, and I want to start editing it, so I select it first. Before the cut sign, or double click or edit stairs, and then I select it. Pay attention, when you select your run, you see some arrows. When you select your landing, you will see some arrows. I already told you that until you don't make a main change in your design, run and landing are connected to each other. And if you make a change, they will be balanced automatically. But now that we want to have access to the parts of the run, we need to exit the automatic mode. And then do what? That's right, convert to sketch based. Or let's just say convert it to the manual mode. When you want to have access to the parts and ingredients of run or landing, you need to convert them to the sketch based. And then they won't be automatic anymore. So I click on convert here, and then a message shows up that explains that we are converting the automatic landing or a run to the sketch based. And well, if you activate this, it will not show up anymore. Well, now can you say what happened? Exactly, the arrows disappeared. So when we convert the run or landing to the sketch based, so that we can have access to the ingredients or the parts, these arrows disappear, and when this happens we can find out that it's not automatic anymore. So I selected, and here the edit sketch is activated for us now. For this one it's inactivated, so I select that one. The edit sketch is activated and I click on it. Now what can we do? Well, let's start with the simple ones. For example, I can drag this boundary here, and I said that they don't need to reach this. If we continue it and then they can reach it, it's okay. Then finish. Now what happened? The landing balanced itself with the run. Why? Because our landing hasn't been converted to the sketch based yet. It's still automatic, so when it is not converted, it balances itself with the run, just like this. So let's continue. I select it and then click on edit sketch. And now I want to design an arc here. Make this arc. If you delete your boundary line, you have to draw the same material instead of it. I mean the boundary. The same material. So click on boundary and then select arc. And after that, design it. This is a graphical problem, don't pay attention to it. And I should be also careful that when I draw this, when the risers continue, they can reach the boundary. And then I click on finish. Now, does the landing still balance itself? Yes, because it's still automatic. So remember, when you delete a line and you want to draw it again, it needs to be the same material. Now I want to delete this riser and have an arc. Just like this. I delete it and then draw it again with the same material. And there won't be any problem. I can do many other things like this. Finish. Or I can even make this riser look like this. And even this one. And finish. The next kind of the stairs is the kind that 2 or more than 2 ramps are connected to a single landing. This one has 2 ramps, but this one, we get to the landing from 3 ramps and we exit from it from 3 other ramps. This one, for example, we enter from 2 ramps and we exit from 1 ramp. These are usually used in the lobbies more than others. But what is the technique to draw these stairs? Well, it's so simple. In order to draw these kinds of stairs, you need to imagine that you want to climb these stairs. So first you need to draw one path of these stairs. You go there and you imagine that you just want to climb these stairs. So draw this, but you don't need to draw the other ramp, because for the second ramp you can just mirror the first ramp. It's actually a better way to do, easier and faster. For example, this one, we choose a path first, for example here, then we draw this one and this one. These two will be created by this, and these two will be created by this one. So let's start drawing. I will explain more during that. Now, the first example, I select the stair first. Well, it has 3 ramps, so 21 risers would be good. Okay. The actual tread depth would be 30 and 1.20. Location line, right. And when I want to draw this, what should I do? That's right, I need to switch my location line to the left. Now I want to make this bigger, so I select it. The location line is on left, so I can easily make this bigger. Actually, let's just do that one riser ahead, right here, right now. For the other side, I just need to mirror it to the other side actually, so I select it, I click on mirror and the copy is already activated, so it's okay. And that's it. Now they need to connect to each other, so I make this happen. And that's it. Could I do this? No, it would be replaced. So the only thing I can do is to drag it Now, imagine that I only want to select this side and stick it to the other side. That's it. So I select it and then move it. Now, answer this question. Should I stick it to the first line or the second line? Which one? First or second? Exactly. The second one. Why? Because I said that this is a part of the structure and it could not be there. So we must connect it to the second line. But if you unwillingly stick this to the first line, it's wrong. Now I want to tell you how to understand that the connection between the run and the landing is correct. I want to tell you 3 signs. The first sign is about the stair path. So why don't you tell me, what is the difference between the stair path of the first run, which is correct, and the stair path of the second run, which is now incorrect? That's right, the arrow. This one has an arrow, so it means that it's disconnected, but the other one doesn't have any arrows, so it's connected. When you connect it correctly, there won't be any arrows. So, this is the first sign. The second sign. You see this structure next to the landing, right? Can you see it? When you connect your run in the right way, that structure will be removed. Right? You can't see it anymore. So, the second sign is that the structure next to the landing is removed. Number 3, the railings after finishing. If it's wrong and you click on finish, you can find this out really easily in the 3D, just like this. The railings block this path, so it's wrong. But if they're connected, everything is alright. Now actually the only thing left to fix is this stair path, which is easy. You should just select the landing, and then you have to convert it to sketch, and then select the stair path and connect it to that side and finish. That's it. Let's go and see the railings too. You see, everything is okay. Now let's go for the next example. I already said that it's not different which one to draw. The desired number would be 24. The first step. The first thing I should do is to fix this landing here and change it. Let me tell you a point. It's really good to know. This landing here now is automatic, so we can't change the form. And I told you that as long as it's automatic, when you change the run, this one also balances. Alright? And when you convert this to the sketch mode, and then you change the run, like this, it's not like before anymore, So, when it's not automatic, the landing does not change with the run. But when it's automatic, it does. And now when I convert this one to the sketch 2, and I change it, it doesn't balance. Oh, that's a bit high. You see that? It doesn't change anymore. Anyway, now, if you want to draw that second example, first of all, we need to convert it to the sketch. But remember not to edit this before drawing that new form of that second example. So, first of all, I click on the boundary and then draw that second example first. Now a question. How can I have a hexagonal that one of its faces is 1.5 centimeters? If you think a little, you know that there was a solution for it in AutoCAD, and you can do the same here. First of all, you need to select this and then click on scale, and this must be scale reference. In AutoCAD, we had to click on R after this scale to go to that reference mode, but here it's automatic. So let's do it. And that's it. After this was finished, alright, you can delete that one and then click on finish. Then the ongoing message appears, which is natural because we moved the landing. But based on what we learned, we should not fear this unjoin. So click on it, but check it in 3D immediately to see if it's upside down. But it's not, so it can be fixed. So now we need to connect these runs to it. So I select this and then copy it, and then I connect it from here. The first or the second line? That's right, the second line. Now, something funny happened here, and that's I can't put it on the first line. I can't even put it on the midpoint of the second line exactly, because this line is nearly in the direction of the other line. So other snaps are not working now. Anytime in Revit that the snap you want is not given to you, you just need to tap. It kind of exits this locked mode. You see, now you want the midpoint, but it doesn't show it to you. If you tap, it will get free. And that's it. Now I want to place another one here. I can move and then rotate it. I can also align it. I click on align. Then I select it and then move it to the right place, right here. The other side is so simple, I just mirror. Right now, a lot of people make a very big mistake. They actually say, why do we bother? We got 3 runs here, we can easily mirror these 3. Which is definitely wrong, because now they're at the bottom. It's the other one which is at the top. And you can't mirror these, because if you do this, it will be more like a platform rather than stair. So we must use this one. Alright? Now, another common mistake that many people make, and that's, let me undo first. Well, a lot of people make a mistake, and that's instead of editing sketch first, at first they delete this. And then they go to this option, which we didn't talk about too much. We have an option beneath the run, which is called landing. So they click on this landing and then there is a pencil there, a sketch. So they click on it and design a new landing. Just like this. I don't say it's a wrong way. It's not a good way, you know. Because we don't need to do this. Just like this. Now, what did go wrong here? That's right, the landing is not in the right height. In the last method, we edited the same landing because it was in the right height. But this one is not, so we need to fix the height first. Let me put this here so that you can see it. So you can select this and here it tells you where the base is and where the top is. So what you need to do now is to copy this top. But you might say, why copy? Well, it's 2000, we can write it. Well, I should tell you that it's not always such round number. So it's better to copy it and then select it and that's it. Now they have a connection, but before that you need to check it. I told you some methods. You check it to make sure that there is connection. And now we are sure that everything is okay. Also remember that while you're drawing your stairs must never have the base offset. Well, of course, the stairs of the first ramp. The second ramp starts from a different height. But generally, the stairs must not have a base offset. So, if we draw the landing separated, which I said is useless, we need to adjust the height again. But if suddenly while working you find out that it was a mistake, you can click on this landing and then use this pick two runs option. If two runs have the right heights, they can connect to each other again. Alright, like this. Like this. Now if you see the top height of this one is 2000 and the base height of the other one is also 2000. So by using this landing, they connect to each other again. Sometimes you might delete a landing unwillingly, so you can use this option. So in this part, we want to work on these three examples. Now these stairs have start from 0 until 90 centimeters. 5 risers, 5 risers, and in this one, 6 risers. They have different forms for entering and they're also used a lot in the sites. In this part, we're going to learn how to draw these special stairs, and I will also teach you how our stair can reach a height that there's no level for that height. But what does it mean? It means that, for example, this stair is now in 90 centimeter height, and in this height, there's no level. You already learned to determine the height of the stairs based on levels. For example, from level 1 to level 2. But here, for the top of these stairs, there is no level. And we will find out how we can do this. Well, let's go and draw the first kind. Let me design a floor. It's better to have the floor, so that we can see better that 90 centimeters going up. One floor here. Then I pick another floor. Now we don't have any level for the 90 centimeter height. In any reason, we don't care about the reason. Therefore, its floor must be based on the height offset, which is 90 centimeters. And finish. Now, let's go for the stairs. Select the stair first. And also remember that any kind of stair that you want to draw, you need to manage the height and the number of it. So let's talk about the height first. We say that this stair, for example, is going from level 1 to anywhere. But we don't have any level for the 90 centimeters height. And when does this happen? For example, the dock stairs. It has gone up 1 meter, for example, and it's not logical for it to have levels. Or for example, we have a platform with, 3 or 4 stairs. Now it should not have levels. But what should we do? What is the technique? Well, I tell you that. So here we say from level 1 to level 1 that has the top offset, which is 90 centimeters. Did you get it? From level 1 to level 1 that has the top offset, which is 90 centimeters. There's also another technique, and that's to change this to none. But I don't recommend that. You can also change it to none and change this height, but I don't recommend this either. It's risky. It's better to be in the same level with the top offset. Alright, now the height is okay. It's time for the desired number. For example, 6, and it calculates, and the actual riser height becomes 50 centimeters. Now, tell me one thing. What things you think we don't need to have here? That's right, the actual tread depth and the run width. Because we are now about to draw a usual stair, and we are going to use the sketch mode. When your stair is really special, you cannot use these default and common forms anymore. And what you need to do is to use this pencil here, which is called Create Sketch. So don't forget, at first manage the height, then enter the right number. Then if you want to use the sketch, the actual tread depth and the run width will not matter. So now I click on this pencil. We are already familiar with the parts of stair: boundary, riser, stair path. We have already talked about the points, so now let's design. Let's do the first example. So I pick boundary, two open lines separated from each other. So I pick an arc, and also watch the dimensions, don't suddenly draw 20 meters. Well, there are 6 risers. If one of them is half meters, they are 3 meters. So for example, I draw 1.80 meters here and 1.5 meters here. You see, I want it to be logical a bit. And this one here. 2 boundaries that are 2 open lines separated from each other. Now, let's go for the risers. And down there it says we should draw 6 more. So I pick the riser and I want the first one to be an arc. The second one. The third one would be this way. I already told you when your riser is like this, I mean it's made of a few lines, it's counted as one riser. We don't have 3 risers now. I draw another one here. Now something is wrong. What is wrong? Exactly, it's the boundary line. Actually, this happens a lot. It just jumps to the boundary, and be careful, you can find out through the color. 2 remaining. I draw one here and another one in this way, like this. Now it's a bit weird. I want you to get used to it. Well, finish. Let's go to 3D. Now, what happened? It's upside down. So, learn this right here, that how we can make a stair upside down. Or let's just say flip it. Well, in order to do this, you just need to click on the flip icon here. And if I want to tell you why it got upside down, it's because of the direction of the boundaries. But you really don't need to know why. All you need to do is to click on flip when it gets upside down. That's it. Finish. Or set. In order to find out if your stair is correct or not, select it first and then check the height, check the desired number, and also check the actual number of risers. That these two must be the same, and they are. Let me explain something about flip. Well, if you have a 2-ramp stair, for example, like this, and then click on finish, I want you to see how flip works on this and how we need to flip it. First of all, when you select the stair, the flip does not appear until you click on edit. So click on edit, then the flip appears. In the stairs like this is what flip does. You see, it actually changes the direction to go up. Did you get it? Alright, now let's go for this one. Here we need to edit its flow, because just like you can see, the stair is special, so the floor must be an arc in this part. So I'll need to edit my flow. I save my file, alright, stair, and that's it, it's saved. I select the floor and then click on edit boundary. Now, in order to make this boundary of the floor like that arc, would you agree to use the pick lines? Exactly, why not? I select pick lines and then click on the edge of the riser. Let me also tell you that in the previous versions of Revit, I mean 2018 and 17, 95% of the times this would cause a problem. I mean, it was just a bug that Revit had, and until now I haven't seen it in 2019 version. Therefore, I highly recommend that before you edit your floor by pick lines, by considering the stair, please save the file before that, because the Revit software might close, especially in 2018 and 17. So now I split and finish. Can you say what I'm going to do to this now to make it kind of organized? Exactly. I want to inactivate the end with riser. When I inactivate end with riser, I can add one more riser. So I select it and then click on edit and then select it. Then I inactivate the end with riser. Now what's happened? That's right, we need one more riser, so I add one. I click on edit, riser, and it's not actually different where to add it. I add it here. Just like this, and finish. You see that? Now it's a very good and logical staircase. Now, let me tell you a point. When you have white threads, especially in the sketch stairs, just like this, actually I've explained it before, it's kind of a review. You see, just like this. Now, what does this white thread look like right now? Exactly, it looks like landing is performing as a landing. So, now I want to tell you that when we have white threads, that they become like landing, the railings must change. You know, the railings don't seem to fit that thread in the right way. Therefore, we go back to the point we talked about before. The times that you create white threads, you need to do what? Do you remember? That's right, you need to split it in two spots, the first riser and the last riser. But what do we split? Boundary. One split and one split. And I also said if you split it before or after that, it's okay, it's just the form of it that will change. You see how it becomes? Alright, now something happened here. Here is still wrong, so I undo and change the place of the split. So let me undo. Yeah, that's it. Now this time I split here, not here, but here. And this one also from before it, from out of it, the exterior part to exterior part. And also this boundary, exterior to exterior. Now finish. You see that? Now it's until the end, right? Next kind. So one kind was to split that very spot. The other kind was to split the exterior parts. Now let's try the interior part. And finish. You see, every one of them was different. So you can have different models and forms by splitting different places. And this part that is broken here, or this part that is open, we can't help it. We can't do much about it because the form of the stair is too complicated. But sometimes we can do something by splitting more. This split actually helps you a lot, and it can control the form of the structure and the railings a lot. For example, here I can have this one and also the one behind it. Now the second one. My advice to you about this one is to design the formula or the form of the stairs by using line at first. I mean that, for example, you can go to annotate and pick the line, or you can also go to architecture and pick the model line. I actually prefer to use detail line. So I pick it and start drawing. You know, this is now the first stair, and pay attention to the tread. It cannot be so wide. Pay attention about its width. But if this is already designed, then the dimensions are clear. The second one would be here. These are lines, not stairs. I draw one here and also another one here. I need 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more. That's it. Alright, now let's go for the stair. So, we learn from level 1 to level 1, 90 centimeters above. 5 risers this time, and the tread and the width are not important now. Then I need to click on this pencil, and I said this pencil is create a sketch. From the beginning I draw boundary, riser and the stair path, and run does not do anything for me anymore. And I don't want to use these preset models, and I can't even actually do it. So the pencil and then the boundary. The boundary is usually drawn first. I select it and I start drawing. Be careful a lot, sometimes it has a midpoint. Well, now it is on itself exactly. But be careful it doesn't snap somewhere else. You see that? Even if you tap, the midpoint is not straight. So, it must be on where the lines cross. This one too. I draw from here too, until here. I say it again, be careful about the snaps, alright? Now, these are two open lines that are separated from each other. Now I select the riser. This is the first one. The second riser could be this one or even this one, but it's not logical to be both of them. For example, I select this. The next one could be both of them too, but I select this. The same thing about the next. I select this one. And for this one, let's select the one at the top. What about the stair path? I said it's automatically managed. Now, I click on finish, and then I go to 3D to take a look at it. It's upside down, so flip it. Well, it's higher, isn't it? Did we draw one extra? No, I actually predicted in case we want to inactivate the end with riser. It's higher only as one riser. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 6. So I inactivate end with riser and then finish. This is now a perfect staircase in the yard. Now, what about a challenge? Actually, the beauty of working with the software is these challenges. I click on edit. Well, pay attention to my question. The boundary I just drew is until here now, right? This is my question. Can we design this boundary in another way? For example, can the boundary be until here and the rest of it be riser? Think about it, can it be until here? Yes, why not? If we draw a riser in this part and then finish, it will be alright. But what is the difference? We enter the staircase from here. This part will not have railings anymore. Now, next question. Can we remove this one and have the boundary until here too? No, not anymore. Because if we draw a riser here, this riser will not be connected to the boundary. And this part here now is not correct, right? It's wrong. So, definitely our boundary, right, has no specific place. It can be until here. It can be until here. Maybe they can't enter the stair from here. It can be also from here. Maybe they can't enter the stair from here either. And The interesting thing is that I can remove this one, bring the boundary until here, and then draw the riser here. But what does it mean when I do that? Can you say what this means, that the boundary is here and the riser is here? Because technically, based on what we said, this is correct. Alright, the only thing is that we can enter the staircase from here. Only here. Now, can we finish? No. Why? Because the stair path does not reach this riser. But what should we do to make it reach that? It's clear you should just delete this first and then draw the stair path manually. Just like this. It's true that the stair path is designed automatically, but you can delete it yourself and draw it again. Maybe you just don't like that stair path, you just think it's not straight, so you delete it and draw it again. Now, this is a staircase that you can enter only from here. I showed you this example so that you can understand the boundary can be in different places. It just needs to be based on the principles. So let's go for the next one. The stairs that we have in front of the doorway is something like a platform. So I go to stair from level 1 to level 1. 6 risers, the tread, 6, the tread and the width don't matter. Oh, these changed. This is 90 centimeters. 6 risers and the tread and the width don't matter. I select the sketch and start drawing. Now, where are the boundaries? I said the 2 top parts. Let's draw the riser first. This is the riser. Then I fillet the corners. You see, I selected the boundary that it happened. Now I select the riser. That's it. Now it's time to change the offset. I enter 40 centimeters. I hold my mouse on one of these. How do I select them all? Exactly. I hold my mouse on one of the lines and then tab. Choose the direction, tab, click. Again, tab, click. Now here, can you see this dashed line? Now I want next one to be on this side, but I'll be careless and it will go to the other side and I will not understand that there is an extra one. And I just keep doing it, and then I start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, one extra. Or let it just be 6. Alright, I select the boundary and I start drawing and finish. Now an error. Now I start looking at it and I just say, what the hell is going on now? It's correct. Why is this error for? But I already told you one of the common mistakes is that during the offset, 2 lines are on each other. Now, how to find it? I told you, get help from filter. First select, and now here must be 6 lines, but there are 7 now. So this time let's select them in pairs. Now, it is not in these 2. 3, so it's in these 2. Then I select one of them. Found it. Then I test if this one is 2, which probably is. All of it is 2 now, so I hold the control, and here you can't tab because it selects the one beneath it too. Select one line, delete and finish. You go to 3D and check it, it's upside down. Well, now I want to inactivate the end with riser. Oh, it was 6 from the first. Well, I had nothing to do with it. Each of them is 18 centimeters, and if we want another one, we could just add one more. and finish. Now, there's always this question that what should we do with this part? There are two ways for you to edit this part. One way, which I don't agree with much, is that first click on edit and then delete one line of the stairs and instead draw one riser here so that this becomes a part of the stairs. I edit the stair path, but why? Now, the reason that I disagree with this is that you'd better drag your floor here so that you can design it. I don't know, make layers. Now, the material of this part is floor, not a stair. Therefore, I wouldn't agree with this much. And my suggestion is to add floor. Because now we are about to fix the floor by pick lines, fix this part, we must save before that. Despite the fact that we are in 2019, we save because we are scared of the old versions. Alright, click on edit floor, pick lines, try tab, it's not possible. Click on these one by one, split, and then trim these parts. I agree with this method because it's the material of that part. Let's see other kinds of the stair too. Of course, they're not that useful, but let's just analyze them. When you select the stair, you can find a very funny type of the stair which is called full step spiral. This one is a kind that can rotate many times and go up. Alright. For example, you can do this. Let me cancel the stair. Now we can have a very high level, for example 16 meters. And imagine that from the first level we want to design a structure that just turns and goes up. So select the stair and then pick full step. It will be from level 1 to level 3 and it will be 16 meters. And then you can see the desired number is 92. But I change it to, for example, 100. I enter the tread depth 2 and the width. Now, check this out. When you click, the structure turns and goes up considering the radius of the space in the middle. And it's obvious that if I make this too big, it will not turn even one round. And it's actually completely normal. If it gets too big, it will not have even one round. And now you can see when I make it smaller, they will go into each other. Alright, as you can see, the smaller it gets, the more rounds it will have. And when you click, you can see the entire staircase. Alright, just like this. Full step spiral. We cannot draw this with the previous one. That one was for only under 360 degrees. Alright, now let's draw another one. For example, from 1 to 2. So at first stair, full step spiral from level 1 to level 2 and 23 desired number. But for example, I change it to 24. The actual tread depth and the width. Now look here, can you see it? It has a kind of a snap when it becomes 360 degrees. When you click, it becomes 360 degrees. When you decrease the radius, they go into each other. When you open it up, it will become less. Now, some of you might think that this method is so much better and quicker than the previous one. But what is not constant here? That's right, the space in the middle. In the previous one, this was constant. But now it can change. So, for example, if you want a 360 degrees, we just do this and that's it. And now, as you can see, around 360 degree staircase. And what about the space in the middle? We don't know. It was managed automatically. And that was the full step spiral mode. There are also a couple of more modes for the stair, but I have really not used it. But I tell you, for example, this one is the L-shaped staircase, and you can also see the properties of it, and that's it. This is your staircase now. We can say that the advantage that this staircase has is that when we select it and then sketch it, we can do some good things with it. For example, delete these two and also these two, 4, and then finish. And finally, when I select the stair, I change the number to 90, something like this. Actually, the height went too much. Something like this. I told you in all the projects that I have worked, I have never used this one. Next one is U-shape, and let me place it for you. Actually, how can this happen that we have a staircase exactly like this? Right? The exact sizes. No, it doesn't make sense. But I just wanted you to be aware of them, but they're not that much useful. So, the stairs we had straight. Next one was full step spiral for the times that we have 360 degrees or more. For example, 720 degrees for 2 rounds, just like you can see in the video. And this one is for the times that we have under 360 degrees. And I explained that it has a completely specified design. And these two are not that useful. And this pencil was used when we wanted to design the whole structure of the staircase from the base on our own.
In this practice, we are going to model this image, which is a combination of stairs and a ramp. To kick things off, we need to form some hypotheses. Imagine that we want to go high 3 meters using 10 ramps, each 7%. And these stairs, the tread is 30 centimeters and the height is 15 centimeters. So let's kick things off. I consider the 3 meter height. At first, we go for the ramp. So ramp, in edit type, I want to manage the 7%. So I have to write 100 divided by 7. So we're going to be like from level 1 to level 2. For example, the width would be considered 1.20. Now pay attention, when I click, it says your ramp needs to be 42 something. And as we had a deal to reach that 3 meter height, one part of this is 0.1 of this length actually. Let me write it down. This is one part of the 10 parts of my ramp. Now, how can we fix it? You see, this is going high, going up. This is how it actually, how the direction is. Can you see it? Yes. So, the treads were supposed to be like 30 centimeters from the middle, 30 centimeters, which is this, and then from here, 30 centimeters, which is this. Check it out. Yeah. These two parts. Let's fix it. These two and these two. You see? Alright. Very, very simple, isn't it? I fixed one part of it. Now, the next part is exactly the opposite of that. So I'll copy it and then mirror it as you see. Now, how can we match these two? Check this out. From this side, 3 threads, meaning 90 centimeters is the distance, and from the other side, 1 thread, meaning 30 centimeters. So, at first, I place like a thread meaning 30 centimeters, a thread meaning 30 centimeters, and then I'll connect it, just remember that you need to delete this. You see, now in here it needs to be like 90 centimeters, 3 threads. Now I use boundary to manually create that part, right? After that, I'll copy it, place it there, and mirror it, as you see, place it there. So you see, they're absolutely alike. And just like that, I'll place it there on the other side. You see, I'll select it and place it here exactly. All right, check this out. This is absolutely ready for being copied. Now I'll select it, copy it, multiple, you see. It will be there, and again, we needed 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. There you go. The end. I'll fix it. And that's it, right? Finished. I'll check it, I'll test it. You see that I modeled it in a solid way. If you don't know, it's there. If it's thick, it will be like this, you see? So let's see if it actually reached that height, that 3-meter height. Yes. And because there were like 10, so each of these needs to be like 30, 60, 90. And our stairs are like 15 centimeters, meaning 60. You see, from 0 to 60, you see, 2 parts. Again, it will reach 60. Let's move on to the stairs. It's very simple, actually. Will be like stairs. It has to be like masonry, concrete from level 1 to level 1, 60 centimeters. How many stairs? 4 stairs, actually. 15 centimeters each. The rest are not important for now because we want to sketch it. You see, this is the boundary. What about the other side? The boundary on the other side? Yes, just like that. There you go. Yep. Finish. It may have been the other way around. We'll flip it and finish. I'll delete the railings, just like that. Now, all you got to do is copy that stair, those stairs, and place it for the other parts, right? What's left to be done is the height of the stairs. How? Well, this one is correct. It's from 0 to 60. What about the others? From what number to what number? From 30. You see, it's starting from there. So it's from 30 to 90. Check it out. You see? 60 is there. 30 to 90. So I'll select it and write 30 to 90. And there you go. It's fixed. The rest, just like that. If it's possible that you make mistakes, just place the codes like that. You see, it's so simple, doesn't take a lot of time. And you are now sure that you're not going to make any mistakes. Also, I'm going to create a wall for it. I don't want anyone to fall down, right? Edit profile.